You know, if I were to go up to a group of people and say the word kaiju, a lot of people will think of giant monsters, or some people might even think of strange beasts, which is what the word kaiju really means. Daikaiju is the term for giant monsters. However, most people, out of the general public and even hardcore fans of kaiju movies, would immediately point to Godzilla. And I mean, come on, there's no competition there, it's Godzilla. However, some people might also even say King Kong, to which I heavily agree. Others would look at the tokusatsu side of things, especially probably in Japan, and say Ultraman. Tokusatsu superheroes, I meant. But there's one kaiju that's been on my mind for quite a while recently, and that is Gamera. Ah yes, Gamera. Also known as the Guardian of the Universe, Kung Fu Flying Jet-Powered Giant Ninja Turtle, and no, not that. Gamera is one of Japan's most beloved monsters, which to me comes second to only Godzilla. Or comes 10th after Godzilla if you count some of Godzilla's allies and enemies. In the 1960s, Godzilla was dominating the Japanese box office year after year, with films like Mothra vs. Godzilla from 1964, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster from the same year, and 1962's King Kong vs. Godzilla, which is the movie with the most box office success in the entire Godzilla franchise. But in the middle of all this success was a Japanese film company named the Daiei Film Company, which sought to make some bucks by making a Daikaiju of their own to compete with Godzilla. The result was Gamera the Giant Monster from 1965. However, that won't be the film I will be reviewing today. The film I will be reviewing is a US re-edit known as Gamera the Invincible. I should also add that the original Godzilla had a re-edit of its own titled Godzilla King of the Monsters, which starred Raymond Burr in the American scenes, and Burr is also known for playing as Perry Mason and the villain from Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. Gamera the Invincible suffered the same fate as Godzilla King of the Monsters, where scenes containing American actors had to be put in for American audiences. Another thing that has to be said is, in 1980, they actually released a original Gamera VHS, which had the original movie, and they actually took out a lot of the American re-edits and basically made the cut closer to the original Japanese film. But without any more explaining, here is the American re-edit of Gamera the Giant Monster, Gamera the Invincible. So the film starts off with Gamera's theme song apparently, and then we cut to some Soviet bombers flying over what looks to be the Arctic. A Japanese boat sees the planes and they notify air defense as a result. So now we see the American actors, and oh my god, the amount of sexism in this one part alone.
Susan, we know you've marked yourself no trespassing, but you shouldn't stop a guy for trying. Baby, it's cold outside.
It's right, gorgeous. You gotta thaw out. Now, there's a South Sea Island picture to rec hall tonight. Tropical shadows, dulcet sea ripples, muted mandolins, and me. With popcorn yet. Would ya do me the honor?
Maybe. If you keep your buttery claws to yourself, remember that airmen don't drool. They obey.
So after the creepy exchange of dialogue, they are notified of the planes, and the jets are basically ordered to shoot them down if they do not comply to demands. So they eventually shoot the plane down, which not only literally just started World War III, but it awakens Gamera, who awoken because of the impact of the nuclear bomb aboard the plane. Now as a kid, I thought this long drawn-out scene of Gamera coming out, and the whole title sequence of Gamera coming out of the ice and basically awakening, I thought was amazing and awesome, and I still do to this day. So now Gamera gives those on the ship and everyone near it hell by unleashing his fiery plasma from his mouth. Soon, newspapers from all over the world are talking about Gamera, while many people believe it's a hoax, including scientists. Some guys are even having a debate on live television, and it is just extremely hilarious.
Apology. I've devoted my life to science.
Gentlemen,
You'll get no apology from me, Contraire. I prefer to
You
have
have
no scholarships to back your arguments. You have no arguments,
Gentlemen.
only invective. Read explanation for the total...
Besides Gamera, this guy is probably the best part of the film so far. And fun fact, the actor who played him, Alan Oppenheimer, actually went to voice Skeletor many years later. I find that absolutely amazing, to be honest. Moving on, we shift to Japan, where a man spots a UFO, which is actually Gamera flying, obviously. After this, we are then introduced to Toshio and his family. It is found that Toshio has a huge love for turtles, and this leads to his father pressuring him to set the turtle free, but Toshio declines. But Toshio then goes with it, and though feeling very sad as a result, sets him free. To be honest, I think a lot of kids can actually relate to this. After Toshio sets the turtle free, Gamera then appears and this startles Toshio. After Gamera is then seen by more witnesses, Toshio goes on the nearest lighthouse, leading to Gamera getting close to him. After that, the Japanese self-defense forces get involved as they try to destroy Gamera, who is wreaking havoc at a nuclear power plant. They try to injure or destroy him with electrical wires, and that doesn't work, and as a result, the military bites off more than they can chew in that little experiment. It is also found that Gamera can actually ingest and, well, basically eat fire. Throughout the film, the military and even the world tries to resolve the Gamera crisis by any means necessary. And there is a lot of pointless political stuff going on in the back of the film, which really only makes it look like a product of its time period more than anything else. But on to what the military is doing, because it's just a lot more fun. They eventually get Gamera to land on his back, but this surprises everybody. Even me when I first saw it. Just watch. Gamera flies away, and this leaves everybody absolutely frustrated. Soon, Gamera then goes on a rampage, and why does Toshio have to take such a creepily attached liking to Gamera? He is killing hundreds of thousands of people, and yet you're like, yay, Gamera, kill millions for me, Gamera, yay! It's pretty damn disturbing once you actually think about it, but Toshio is just a little shit, to be honest with you. So everything from here on out is basically like your typical standard kaiju movie. Toshio is ultimately and unfortunately safe, and thanks to the international cooperation this film seems to be emphasizing, more and more plans seem to be getting into effect to destroy Gamera, or at least attempt to. But they finally have a plan known as Plan Z that actually gets rid of Gamera. No, not destroy Gamera, but actually get rid of him. This is actually one of the more creative endings to a monster movie, and is just really interesting overall, yet hilarious. So Gamera is sent into space, and yeah, now it's somebody else's problem, it looks like. So that's Gamera the Invincible, a very creative and fun monster, and also a pretty creative monster movie to begin with, to be honest. Definitely something, you know, especially that ending. You did not see stuff like that, to be honest with you. Even in the 60s, that was way out of, you know, the norm. But I do have some problems with it. You know, this re-edit, the American scenes make the film very, kind of weird. You know, the whole politics in the background, it kind of makes everything a big mess. But the one pro I can definitely say with the American scenes is that they do emphasize the whole human race coming together to fight off one huge threat kind of thing, which I think is a really good thing about this film. I think that's probably the biggest thing you can learn from this film and this film alone. Another con that I have with this film, or flaw that I see, is that it tried to follow in the footsteps of something much bigger than Daiei altogether. It was Godzilla. I mean, Toho, Godzilla, they were just dominating the box office in the 1960s, and Gamera, he just missed it, you know. They were box office rivals for quite some time too. But yeah, those are just my flaws with it. But overall, it's pretty okay. But I highly recommend the original Gamera the Giant Monster. I think it's just a much better thing overall, to be honest. And the 1980 VHS tape definitely, you know, was definitely pretty good, I think. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later with a whole bunch of new video ideas flowing through my head, to be honest with you. But yeah, catch you later.